So whenever you're starting to build a play out, build your playbook, whatever it is, I highly recommend that you start working with the box first. How can you run against defenses? And of course, if it's all about the pass, you got to make sure your quarterback's protected so they can execute the play. So I always want to start off and talk about the box structure and bring this in at a very basic level so that we're all on the same page. So starting off, of course, we have our center, our right guard, our right tackle, our left guard, our left tackle, okay? So with this structure, we end up having 5 linemen, which means we have 6 gaps. So defenses, to be structurally sound, will want to make sure that they have a player assigned to each one of those gaps. Offensively, we refer to these gaps as the A gap, B gaps, C gaps. So this is the spacing between the down lineman, okay, to outside. To state the obvious, if the offense brings in a tight end, okay, now we end up having a D gap. But just for today, we're going to start off talking about 5 linemen and 6 gaps. All right, so let's raise the tight end. Put our C gap back up here. All right, so defensively, defenses want to make sure, as I said, that they have an individual in each gap. So they may end up putting a down lineman in here, 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 a backer, and another linebacker. That allows them to have 6 defenders for 6 gaps. Now, in terminology's sake, here's the way I'm going to label these. These might be different, more than likely will be. Different than the way you label them. Okay, but I'm going to call this backer the anchor. Okay, so the first question is that the field is that way, so we might be on the left hash. Okay, so we have the boundary over here. So we're going to put the anchor linebacker into the boundary, the nose tackle, the D tackle, the rush. So some people call that the DN, some people call that the anchor. I'm going to call them the rush for now. The weak side linebacker, the will linebacker, and the Mike linebacker. We flip this. The defense looks at things differently than we do. They like to talk about strong side and weak side. So the will backer would be the weak side. The Sam backer would be the strong side. Okay? We still maintain the terminology of Will, Mike, and Sam, and we'll show you how the movement of the Sam makes them a hybrid based on our formations. But for now, let's take this back as if we have 3 receivers out to the field, 2 out to the boundary. So if we end up doing that, the Sam, the half, and the corner, okay, the free safety, the corner, and the half have expanded out over top of our number 1, 2, 3 receivers, and in the boundary are 1, 2 receivers, and our quarterback, and our running back. Okay? So that's the structure that you get with a 32 set. We end up having our field players, which we're going to take off the board as we just want to talk about the box. Okay? Our boundary players. And we're going to leave the free safety there because he is important in everything that we do. So this here, as I said, is the box play. And we call this gap sound defense. In a gap sound defense, if it's 1st and 10 or any situation by which the offense can run or throw the football, you're more than likely going to get a gap sound defense. Okay? Gap sound meaning right here, the anchor can play the C gap, the nose can play the A gap, the tackle can play the B, The rush can play the C, which leaves the Mike to read and play the A gap, and the Will to read and play the B gap. Now that's a straight up basic defense. Obviously, at any time, these guys can switch responsibilities and change up their gaps. At the end of the day, they're all going to end up in a gap to be gap sound. And this is what helps eliminate the run game.